Hi, welcome to Westside's virtual painting class for May. This month we will be painting a desert landscape. So in your kit you will find a traceable with your design, carbon paper, your 8x10 canvas, and paint colors in light blue, white, green, black, and brown. All right. Also with paintbrushes, you are going to need a large paintbrush. I have a 3/4 splat. And for this one, you're going to be using some smaller brushes. You are going to be using a 4 flat, and you're also going to need a liner brush. And the one I'm using today is a size 1. All right, so let's get painting. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is paint our background. So you're going to take your light blue paint and you're going to paint your canvas. Remember, as you're painting, you want to have enough paint on your paintbrush where your paint flows. You don't want it to pull. And by pull, I mean when you're painting it, it actually pulls paint from the canvas. And you'll see white spots with the canvas coming through. And you can feel it because you feel the resistance of the paint when you don't have enough on your brush. When you have enough paint on your brush, it flows, it glides. Okay. So, after our background is painted, you're going to stop and dry this. You can speed up your drying with a hairdryer or just let it set for about 15 minutes and air dry. So once you're through with your brush, you're going to rinse it off, give it a good swoosh in the water, and then take your paper towel and squeegee it. Starting from the back of the bristles, just squeeze that water out. If you're having a lot of color on your brush, like if your paper towel looks like this, you keep rinsing your brush until it comes clean. All right, so once your background's dry, you're going to take your carbon paper and lay it on top of your canvas, shiny side down, and then you are going to take your drawing and place it on the carbon paper. All right, you're going to get your pencil and you are going to go over your design. So after we're finished tracing our design, just pick up the traceable and the carbon paper and set it aside. Okay, as you can see, we have our design laid out and we are ready to start painting. So the first thing I'm going to paint in is my clouds. And I'm going to take some white paint and I'm going to take my liner brush and I'm going to go around my clouds with my liner brush. Okay. All right, so since I've outlined my clouds, I'm going to put my small brush aside and I'm going to get out my number size 4 flat. And I'm going to take some more of that white paint and I'm going to paint the inside of the clouds. All right. And we will be putting a second coat of white on our clouds. All right, we are through with our liner brush, that brush for a moment. Okay, so we are going to paint our cactus next. We are going to need our green. Okay. All right. All right, so for our cactus, you are going to be using 2 tones of green, a darker and lighter green. You can either freehand your cactus, or I'm going to show you, you can put in some pencil lines. Okay, so on the main one, we want it to be 3 segments. And then on the branches, that one 2, this one 3 segments, and this one 3 segments too. Okay. This one, we're gonna do the arms are gonna be 2-tone, and then the body's gonna be 2-tone too. And then the main body of this cactus will have 3-tone. And the branches. We'll have 2. Okay. All right. So with our primary green, I'm actually going to take it and I'm going to mix it with some white. So I'm going to take some green, a dab of green, and I'm going to pull some white out and I'll mix it together. And you just want like a nice light green color. Okay. So that's good. I like the shade. So I'm going to take, I'm working on this big one, and I'm going to just paint the middle segment green. I use that light green. And then on this segment, I'm going to do the middle green. Okay, on this segment, we're going to have this, the light green. And once again, we're going to do our middle, a light green. Okay, this one, see, light green, light green, and this one will be light green. That's light green. The middle section is going to be light green. All right, so that kind of does it for our light green. And I'm not going to clean my brush, and we're going to take that regular color green, and we're going to go back over the other segments. And now that our primary colors are done on our cactus, we're going to add some shading. Let's see if I can get my black up. Okay. So we're going to take a little bit of black and way more green than black. And we're going to mix up a dark green. All right. Yeah, and see where here I'm mixing it, and it still had a little bit too much black from what I wanted, so I just picked up some white. Black always makes your colors darker, white makes them lighter. Okay. So I have like this really dark, like, it's like forest green color. And now we're going to take that green and we're going to go around our cactus in between our segments. Around the dark green parts. And if some of your colors mix, that's fine. Because guess what? Cactuses are plants, and in shading, in nature, nothing is one tone. Okay, as I'm painting this, I do not have very much paint on my brush. I have just the thinnest amount. Okay. All right. All right, and we're just going to go around it in between those segment lines. And the same way with this one. Around in between those segment lines. Okay, so our cactus are finished. All right. I'm going to clean off my brush. I need to clean it off good because we're going to go back to our clouds for a moment. Okay. All right, and we're going to put on that second coat of white paint for our clouds. All right, I had a little too much water on my brush, and I don't want a very wet brush, so I went and cleaned up. So I just went and used my paper towel to get some of the extra moisture out of it. Okay. And we just want, at the top, we want to paint into the arch of the clouds so it looks bubbly on top. Now, even after 2 coats of paint, my clouds still have a transparent quality to them. And that's actually good because think about it. Clouds aren't opaque. Oh. All right. So we got our clouds. And so we're through with that. Okay, so that leaves us with our brown paint. Okay, so we are going to take some brown and white paint. A little brown and a little white. And if your paint container is starting to make like a burping sound, it's probably time to get some more paint of that shade. All right, so we have some brown, we have some white. So first off, when we paint our sand, it's going to be multi-layered. We are going to start off with our first layer is going to be a light tan color. So we need white, and we're going to take some of that brown and mix it in. All right, for that, I am using my beloved size 8 filbert. And if you don't have the filbert, use that size 4 flat. Okay, so I'm just going to I'm going to start going around my cactus. And if you get any of the cactus, we can go back and clean that up. All right. Same way, don't worry if you're covering up your definition line, your sand lines, basically, that you trace. We're going to go back and fill those in. Okay. Okay. All right, now for that back row, I am going to switch to a smaller brush. I always find it easier if I need to work in close to use a smaller brush. Some people use a bigger brush for everything. I'm not one of those. If I'm using close work, I like if I'm closer to something, I like a smaller brush. I can't cover as much ground as fast, but I find I make fewer mistakes, so I won't have to go back in and fix my cactus as much. Okay. Okay, so we have that first layer that's a light tan down. All right, so I'm going to take some more of my brown and white and mix it together. Except this time, I want it to be a little bit darker. So think of the first layer as a dark khaki color, and then you want it to go up to a medium khaki color. Okay. And also with this second layer, we're going to do something. As the paint is wet, you're going to take some table salt and sprinkle it on. Just a light dusting. And then as we go, and then we're going to go over it a third time with some more brown paint, and it's going to look like sand. All right. And I'm doing this in sections because acrylic paint dries really fast. And I don't want the beginning to be too dry because your paint has to be wet for this salt to stick. All right. Okay. And okay, and we got this. Okay, so we have our salt down, and now without rinsing our brush, I'm going to pull some of that brown paint, and I'm going to mix that with the rest of my palette, and so it has a brown. Okay, and then we're going to take, and we just kind of want to dab. Okay, we're going to do dabbing, these like feathery kind of strokes. And I'm taking a little bit of paint on my brush, and then I'm doing this dabby, circly kind of motion. I know, I'm trying to think of a better way to describe it, and I'm not. And I'm just taking that and I'm dragging through the sand. Well, the salt that looks like sand. Okay. All right. So, okay, and we're gonna take and just get us the excess out. Okay. And we have a little white left, and I am going to take our liner brush and take some of black. I'm gonna mix it with some brown, because I need a dark brown. Okay, and when it gets to be that dark brown color, but this is how we're going to paint in our heels. Okay, so we're going to start up here. Go around. All right. And then we're gonna just go in, and you can use your the traceable for reference. Okay. I'm finding it. Just go over your line 2 or 3 times. And it doesn't have to be a perfect straight line. Actually, you don't want it to be a perfect straight line, because these are your horizon lines. And remember, there are no straight lines in nature. And also, this is, this is kind of abstract. So, it doesn't have to be perfect. So, I want it to be just a little bit darker. All right. So, I am going one of the last things is I'm going to go back with my green, that dark green, and kind of go around. As I know, I smudged some of my green when I was doing my browns. And just go in and kind of clean up, if anything, some of your lines. Okay. All right. So I'm also looking at my cactus. I might add some white highlights into places. And it's basically, this is just going in and adding some highlights if you want. This is all this is. So basically I kind of decide like, okay, so my sun is coming in from here. So this is going to be lighter than these. So I'm going to add this. Oh, yeah, and these. All right, so I kind of like my painting. I'm good with it. So I'm gonna stop. All right, so our final thing we are going to do is we are going to splatter paint this one. I know it's been a while since we splatter painted, but we're gonna do this one. Dip your paintbrush in water. I'm gonna take a little bit of the white. We want it to be really watery. And then this works best if you have a fan brush, which is a paintbrush that looks exactly like a fan, or a toothbrush. Or you can do it this way. You can take the bristles of a flat brush and just kind of flick them. can also. And the more paint you have on your paintbrush, the better it works. And I'm just kind of flicking from the stem of the brush. Okay, so that is our cactus. All right, thank you for coming and painting with me today. It has been great fun sharing these virtual painting classes with you. But I have an announcement to make. Starting on June 11th, we are going to have in-person painting classes here again at Westside. You heard me right, in-person painting classes. June 11th, we will hold our first outdoor painting class here at Westside. So if you are interested, please call 318-442-2483 to sign up for the June 11th painting class. It is at 9 a.m. Thank you and have a good day. Bye-bye.